Hello, welcome to Men's Boots, the place where we talk about important and vital matters that moves men from where they are to where they want to be. Matters that most men would want to shy away from. Welcome to Men's Boots. Welcome back. Today we'll be talking about what we say versus what they hear. There are many instances about communication and communication bridge between men versus women, men versus men, women versus women. But today we'll be talking in light of men versus women, what the men say and what the women hear. And sometimes what the women say and what the men hear. Now, we know in Men's Boots is all about men, but today is particularly unique. We have a woman in our midst to give us a little bit of spice, maybe a little more than a little spice, but to give us spice on what, how the women hear what they hear, and because when a man says this is how a woman hears, you could say it's biased because we really can't tell you what a woman hears. So the best person to tell you what a woman hears when a man speaks is the woman. So we have a woman here to give us a little bit of that. And I am very sure today is going to be interesting. A lot of you have told me, oh, when are we going to come on the show, give a little bit of what we want to say? You have a representative in the house. And I pray she represents you well and say everything that you want her to say. Let's go right along. We're going to introduce ourselves right now, starting from the lady in the house, then we'll move on to every other person. So,
hi guys, my name is Buki Bash, and I'm going to be representing all the ladies in the house today. And trust me, I'm a good representation for you, so chill.
At that point, I just like, wow. Well, it's good to have them because we have to have the proper balance. Yes, guys, welcome to the program. My name is Paul Basai KD, ambassador, and it's a pleasure to be here again one more time. Men's Boot, yeah.
Hi, I'm Shegun, and I'm excited to be here. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. And for me, I'm someone that is always very interested in men's growth, men having the right information to do things right in the society. So I'm very excited about this, and I can't wait for us to get into the conversation.
we're going to go right along. Before we came on set, I was having a conversation with my group here, and I was asking them, what exactly do you perceive when we say what we say versus what we hear? And the lady amongst us had already picked up steam. So we'll let her just flow with the steam that she's picked up. So tell us, because, when a man says something, we say what we mean. But in our minds, we found that over time, ladies hear the assumptions rather than what we have said. And so help us here. How are we to better position ourselves in this communication so that you hear what we are saying?
Okay. First off, I remember an experience I had many years ago with somebody who was a guy. And I was putting on, I'm a fashion entrepreneur, by the way. I was putting on a dress. And then he asked me, how much does this cost? In my mind, I'm like, what exactly is he asking? Is he asking the cost of production? Or is he asking the price I am selling? Or is he asking because he wants to resell? So when the person asks, how much does this top cost? Already in my mind, there are like 3 options. So
And that's without thinking.
you get,
Yeah,
without thinking. Just barely, the guy just said, how much does this cost? In my mind, I'm like, what exactly does he want to know? Because that question in itself is very broad. So in the end, for me...
The question is very simple. How much does it cost?
No, it's not.
You see? Do you get it? Guys will tell you, that question was simply, how much does it cost?
No. For me, no. Does he want to know the cost in terms of production costs? Does he want to know the cost in terms of shelf costs? Does he want to know the cost in terms of wholesale retail costs? So when you say cost, it varies.
I thought, one of the things I said one of the things I said is that, I say for we as men, it's as though like the Bible translation, we say King James. But when we say King James, they have entered into the ability of amplified, TPT, message translation. The man said, how much does it cost? That's King James. Yeah. That's straightforward. But but what happens is that Amplified will tell you that, and was told to Abraham, leave your father's house. And Amplified said, for, in bracket, for your own advantage. So it's just for us, we don't like, I understand, like what you said there, I feel it very well.
As a man, you need to be skillful enough to keep up with these rules. And believe me, it is evolving. Even they themselves don't know all of it. It depends on what mood they are at that point in time, then they invoke one. But you, as a man, you need to be broad enough to take anyone that is thrown at you. I'll take a simple example. In Genesis, God told Adam, he said, okay, attend to this garden, do what you want to do. Don't touch that particular tree, but you can do this, name them, do that. Man understood it because man is straightforward in this matter. Then the woman comes along and Adam says the same thing that God said to him, to her, and says, God said we should take care of this garden, attend to it. We shouldn't touch that tree, but we should take care of every other thing. And the woman says, okay. Then the devil comes along and the lady says, God said we should not even touch it. Now, there was no point. Even Adam did not say God said we should not touch it. But the woman's translation, amplified with TPT, now adds, don't even touch it. And that created a foundation. It says, see, now I'm touching it and nothing happened. Then because he has been able to touch that, nothing happened. It now looks like every other thing that was said is not true.
Number one, the arrangement of the words, how your emotions receive those words, how your mind process those words in that moment in time. So for me, generally, when it comes to men trying to communicate with women, their choice of words are so important. And not just the choice of words, the way they arrange, the way you say before and the way you say after. It's very, very important.
I hope you're hearing what she's saying. I hope you're hearing, because this is really important. You come from a rough day, right? And things have happened to you as a guy. And you get home and you think she should understand. And you just say, I'm hungry. There is food in the kitchen. But the fact that you just said, I'm hungry, without even saying hello, hi. So she says, you are the only one that walked, Abi. And you're like, no, that's not what I mean. No, tell me what I mean, because I don't understand English. You see, the more you're trying to get yourself out, you are digging the hole straight in. So the fastest thing, I always say, the fastest thing when it comes to stuff like that, just say, oh, I apologize. I didn't mean it that way. And how are you doing? Just take the correction for what she's saying. If I'm wrong, please correct me. If she says, oh, you didn't even greet her, you didn't even say hello. So I apologize. Hello, how are you? And try to make it believable. Because if you say it and it's still not believable.
Another thing is sometimes, as a man, this is what I think. Like you said, believable. Because sometimes I catch men trying to act. And when you're acting, we know. Because we're emotional. We can, because we know
that we made a mistake and we're quickly trying to make amends. That's what we're trying to do.
But the thing is, we see through it. Because your emotions are not connected to the action. So even when you are acting, you need to connect your emotion to that thing you are acting. It's about the emotion. It's not the act.
Now that you have said this, let me help a lot of ladies around the world, right? When a man says to you, oh, sorry, and he tries to make up, because we are not emotional like you, our emotions is still jogging. It's coming from behind to catch up. But yeah, it's still coming. Yeah? But what we are trying to do is this. Because we are logical. Logic comes first. So fix the matter. So it does not mean we are less sorry. It does not mean we don't mean it. But we see, like God, we speak forth what be not as though it is, then it becomes. So what we do, and I mean that for real. So we say, oh, I apologize. That's not what I mean. Now, you might think he's acting, but you see, he's calling for what be not, because first and foremost, one of the most important things to a man is peace of mind.
Nothing beats that.
Peace of mind. So whatever he needs to pay to get that peace of mind, he pays it first. He can bear that, oh, I paid too much for it later. But for now, he pays it first and says, oh, you know what, honey? I'm sorry I said that. I didn't mean it that way. They say, no, you're pretending you don't mean it.
So yeah, so what you're saying in essence is that even though it looks like you are acting, because of your, in fact, the ladies can testify. I'm sure you agree with me. You can tell that it's not really from inside, but now you're saying it. Well, now I'm getting the men's perspective, because versus what I see, I know that this person is just trying to. He's not really like because I can sense
The
it.
reason is because he's truly sorry. But another issue is that the way you ladies receive apology is different. That's a separate conversation.
Because
It's emotional. And at that moment, he can't display all the emotions to make you feel he's sorry in that moment. At that moment, all you have is the word. So you should at least take that first and now see it through. Because it's his word that he has at that moment. But I know that for an apology, it takes more than that. It takes maybe care. It takes consistent showing that you are really sorry. Maybe toning down your voice, your facial expression and all that. And that's what you expect in the moment. But what he said is that a man's need is peace. He wants to have peace with you at that moment. So that's why he's saying sorry immediately. So, but I feel that you should at least take that a bit and calm down. Then maybe later you can. So that's it.
It's not like, well, it's not like we're not going to calm down. I'm just saying that it looks to us like acting. But now we understand what is behind the acting. Because from the surface, we don't immediately see the emotion. But now I understand better why the emotion hasn't come through. Because I'm not a man, I'm a woman. And what I'm looking out for is the corresponding emotion to the act. So when it's not coming through, okay, I can understand that, okay, this is the reason why it's not coming through. But on the outside, trust me, it doesn't always look like that.
So you ask your spouse for, as a woman to a man, the woman is asking the man for, let's say, $100,000, naira, pounds, whatever it is. And at that moment, the man only has, let's say, 100,000. So really, he can't spare 100,000. So the moment you ask him, he emotionally does not feel like giving you the 100,000. But for his peace of mind, you can see the grin on his face. He counts out, he's not smiling, he's counting that 100,000. He is angry, you can tell. He gives it to you. I never see a woman say, because you're not smiling, I'm not taking this money. Because your emotion does not comply with what you're doing, I'm not taking this money. You take it, right? Good. So the same way, when we say, I apologize, even if our emotions does not comply with it, we're expecting that the same way you took the money with ignoring our facial expression, you should be nice enough to also take our apologies, ignoring our facial expression, because the way we meant giving you that money is the same way we also mean giving you the apology.
Another thing is this. One thing about communication is the fact that sometimes we want to assume that we know what is behind the scene.
That's the women.
No, generally, because now you just gave a scenario, and you said, "Oh, he has only 100,000." I don't know.
You know, I don't know sounds like I don't care.
Not that I don't care, but I don't know.
All right,
So I don't even know the reason behind the expression. Whether it is for me, against me, or for something else, or maybe the account officer, or maybe it could be 1,000,001 things. So I will collect the money irrespective. Because it could be different reasons.
I'm going to come back to this. We need to go on break right now. We'll be back shortly. When we come back, I'm going to explain why she would feel the way she's feeling. Praise the Lord. I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back. We're still on that topic, what you say and what they hear. And you know, before we went on break, our sister here was on our trail. She told you she was going to be representing you very well. And I think so far she's doing a great job at it. So let me let her get back to it. So you were saying.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I said you were talking about how that we ignore the expression on your face and then we collect the money anyway.
Oh. I was not saying. You affirm that.
Okay, you said and I affirm. Yeah, I affirm. But I will collect the money anyway. The reason for the expression, I don't know the cause.
Yes.
And you are assuming that I will know that it's because you are giving me the money. That's an assumption.
Can I say something? Despite the fact that you don't know why I'm frowning or green, right? You took the money. You did not ask questions. The money was very useful to you. It got everything for you. I am just saying, so that it doesn't feel like a bystander. The same way you did not know the reason why I was frowning and giving you the money. Don't assume that when I'm telling you I'm sorry and I'm still frowning, that I don't. Just take it the same way.
Okay, why should I take it the same way? So your emotions can run when you want to give me money, but when you want to say I'm sorry, they can't run. What's the difference?
regarding the sorry part, like, I also mentioned it, that once you say sorry, we are processing the I'm sorry. I will want you to take that in the moment and work with it. That does not excuse the fact that men still need to put in the work in learning how to apologize to women. Because it is obvious from this conversation that the way they receive apologies and the way we render it is different. It's obvious. So that means that there needs to be a commitment on the men's side to actively learn how to apologize to women.
All right.
So that's actually my point. So even if we are here now, it's obvious that that is not enough, and it's not going to take us where we want with them. So it still falls to the fact that we still need to actively learn in that regard how to actively apologize, so that at least there will be a balance.
Just before, while you're saying that, let me tell you something ahead. It is in the process of us, men, trying to learn how to actively apologize that end us the Academy Award-winning actors that they are calling us that we are acting. That's what end us that. Why? Because so the guy tries to say, honey, I apologize. I'm like, why are you acting? He's trying to say it with the emotions now, and now it's not timed him acting.
Okay, I think
I'd
like to now say now, because the scenario is being painted here. It's what happens. Something happened, and I was like, my wife and I, okay, and it just in the conversation, I knew that something happened, and she was waiting for me to say I'm sorry. But I just went like, I've gone past it. I'm like, hello, how are you doing? And she's like, so wait. No, did you just say that? You just,
very annoying.
so you know that part. You know that part. You know. So this is me. I know already that I have, maybe you know that you are not on the good books. Even in bookkeeping, you have to balance the shit. So I'm like, hello, and she's like, okay. If it's going to call, maybe it's a video call, and I'm looking at, she's looking at me. I said, how are you? I was fine. How's everything? Good. And it's just one line out. The next thing, in case she knows that I'm deliberately avoiding it, she's like, you're doing as if you don't know what you're supposed to do first. And this is me now. Okay, sorry. I am sorry. And she's looking at me like, I said, but truly, let me explain to you. I am very sorry. So it's not going to be as if I'm acting at that point. Okay, you understand? So, like you said, it's one thing I want to say in this part is that just where we as men are choosing, we are learning to compromise, learning to understand, because communication has to be on both sides. In communication, nobody has to be too rigid not to be able to adapt and blend. Do you understand? Because sometimes where we're coming from as men is our emotions like, okay, you said, I've told you straight up. Some men are like, I don't tell you sorry, I don't tell you sorry. Bounce. But you understand, some people are like that. But the thing is, when we say we are sorry, sincerely speaking, our face could only be what? I say, I'm sorry the first time. I have to read it again, I'm sorry.
Okay, can I say something?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what would help men to apologize properly without necessarily the emotion. If it is your words that you have, then learn to use your words well. When you say you're sorry, what exactly are you apologizing for?
Oh, so okay, I am sorry
So, yes, so even if you cannot attach the emotion, you say, I'm sorry for making you feel like this. I'm sorry for not acknowledging this. I'm sorry for saying it like this. Then we know you're truly sorry. Because it's not just only about the emotion. If you can't find the emotion, okay, yes, we understand. Okay, you're saying I'm sorry for what exactly are you sorry for? Do you really know your offense? Do you even really know why I'm angry? So it makes everything just easy.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what?
Okay.
So
can you put also, okay, if it's possible, sometimes for men, sometimes some persons might not know what they've done. But if you say I'm sorry, now the idea now, it will be easy to say like, okay, this is what you did.
Personally, if it was me, I would just ask you, what are you sorry for?
Yeah, but I want you to kind of give general pointers, because I still have questions about that. Because a lot of men are always confused about what they are sorry for. Because sometimes what you are actually angry about is the way you made her feel. It's not even about what you said. And it's an emotion. It's quite difficult to ascertain what that is. So
the very first and general I'm sorry is, I'm sorry for making you feel, choose whatever after.
Oh. I think I will drink water to that. Oh.
So because whatever you did made her feel either insignificant, ignored, not loved, or whatever emotion that it triggered. But whatever action you took or whatever it made her feel in a particular way that she didn't like. Maybe intimidated, ignored, unloved, or whatever it could be. But it made it triggered a negative emotion that is giving that reaction. So that's just a general. So then over the conversation, you can now know the specifics that, oh, it was this feeling specifically, this feeling specifically. So it goes a long way when the woman knows that you know what you're apologizing for. You see, that one is a big secret. It just makes, it melts everything. It makes everything easy. Just saying, I'm sorry is not enough. I'm sorry is in the general word. And anybody can say I'm sorry. But when you are specific with the I'm sorry, it personalizes it to her. And so it is not general. Like anybody can call her on the phone and say, I'm sorry. Sorry for. So meaning that you don't know exactly where you hurt. So those words that you claim that you have, use it and use it well and rightly.
Now, I don't know if you're getting something, but I have this very strong notion that you are. For some men, this is like a light bulb moment, like an aha moment. Because like you rightly said, for a lot of men, a lot of times we apologize because we want our peace. Yes. First and foremost. Yes. That peace can never be overrated for men. We'll do anything to just you give us that peace. Now, in adding to that, a lot of men do not know what it is that went wrong. And for some, they are too afraid to even poke the bear. Because right now, I've not even done anything, you're already pissed. I'll now come and say, so what did I do? Because some men even try. And for the other men watching, are like, oh no, you did not just ask that question. Oh no, you did not just ask that question. Like, we know.
You don't know what to say.
Exactly. You just opened a new route that was not even in creation before.
I wanted to close it.
See, what you open, and there are like 10 different other ways you can be killed. What you just did now. So you just say, but what did I do? No, don't say that. Take it in, rewind. You know, because we don't want to open that can of worms, right? We'll rather just say, okay, I'm sorry. Then you now come to us and say, what are you sorry for? I'm like, and I'm trying to avoid to say what I, because I don't even know what I did. In my mind, I wanted to buy you ice cream. And I bought you ice cream. Now you're angry that I bought you ice cream. And I was only trying to do good though. I would have just left the ice cream. Oh, you'd have left the ice cream. I didn't say, I can read it in your face. I'm like, see, not only are you now jailing me for what I did that I'm not aware of, you are jailing me for something that you think I am thinking. Do you understand? So for a lot of reasons, men have learned to be more careful than they should be. But from what you're saying that I've gotten is much more than being careful. We need to be able to break these things down into phases and attack them phase by phase. Yeah. First is to say, okay, the fact that you are angry at me, I don't like that, and that is taking my peace. And I apologize for even making you angry. Whatever it is that I've done, I apologize for that. So it creates a soft landing. Then you say, but really, between you and I, what did I do wrong? And the reason why I'm asking is so that I don't make you feel like this next time. Is it possible, out of the benevolence of your heart, can you give me a hint of what I did? And say, you don't know. I say, I truly don't know. You know I don't like hurting you. Do you know I don't like hurting you? Say yes. This is some of the things that I had to learn. I now use questions to bring her out from that, because at that point, in her mind, I believe, if I'm wrong, correct me, she has already put up different scenarios in her mind that are not in your favor. All of it, 10 of it that she brought up, none of it is on your side. So you want to bring her out from that bad company first. So you now ask her questions that would make her challenge those scenarios. You know I don't like to hurt you, right? Yes. You know I do really care about the way you feel, right? Yes. Do you know? So you're affirming the positive. The moment you're able to get her out into the light, then you now say to her, so tell me, what exactly did I do? She will say a lot of things. You keep quiet, don't interrupt. When she's done with the many things, say you said this, and that, right? Yes. But this is not so wrong. This is not so wrong. Which one of these is the top amongst all of them? Then, because at that point, she might not even really remember the one that got her over. I have found out a lot of times.
Because most times it's the way it makes us feel. It's the feeling that we hold on to. The exact thing, you may not even, but the way that thing made you feel. That's why I said the first general one is that, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. whatever is the way, you may not know exactly. Then you can now find out later. So, but that one just,
Because I think for me, most times, because of the way conversation, sometimes one of the things I used to do, I just push to my wife is when she's talking and she said, what else is about this? Like, sorry. She's asking me the question. So, but in my heart, I'm very quick to listen, but you're gentle to speak. Because I want to be able to be sure that the next things I say will not be used against me in the court of law. That is true. So I said, this is basically what I've learned over the years is that I said, you can only hold me for what I say, practically. But no, I know I know I say that is that because for the sake of the peace that I want and everything, because of that, over time, I've learned now to choose my words rightly. So if there's a matter, it's not just what, maybe there's a conversation. Sometimes you could just trigger something, maybe you could just like making conversation to generically. Do you know that women like, there's some soft spots there's some lines you don't cross. So with it, I've learned over time. Because one thing again about your conversation is that you have to be a very good listener. That's one thing in communicating. On both sides, as a man talking to a woman, most importantly, you have to be a very good listener. A very good listener.
Wrong, please correct us.
well, the thing is,
Yeah, no, so do you know why? Do you know why I say so? Do you know why I say so? Do you know why I say so? Because the woman is moved by what she hears. A man can talk about come out for your side you be. And what you don't feel as if you just take it like that, but nothing was said.
But you see,
But because for a woman,
we hear everything.
do you understand?
Even if we behave as if we did not hear, we hear.
You'll be shocked. The idea is you'll be stunned at
We
So
just decided not to.
do you understand? So at that point, that is it.
Some of it, we put it inside the pocket.
It will come up. It will come up. I'm telling you, it will come up. So that's why I say I learned over time, sincerely. For me, it's just the okay, know when to pick, know when to drop. But most importantly, be very good to listen and know when, take to heart what she said she doesn't like and get to apply it. So for the sake of wisdom, for the sake of the conversation, for the future, not the now, I can work
There's
with
what
it.
I'm getting from this, like patience.
Yeah.
Patience in apologizing. Because most of the time, when a guy is apologizing to a lady, they just want to get it over with. Can you just take sorry and let's move on? But no, it's not like that. So that's what I'm getting from this conversation.
Yeah.
You need to be patient to actually listen to the reason, like the attentiveness, in what she's saying and picking out, okay, where you think you may have made the mistake. I think that's very actually key to the apology that you are trying to render.
More than the emotion.
You get more than yes. So I think that's what I'm getting from this conversation. Like that patience is very important. I know you as a guy in your mind, you just want to say sorry and get it over with, but it's not that simple. Like from what you're saying, we need to be patient and really understand the reason and why you were angry in the first place. So thank you for that.
Now, so I think you most likely would have gotten a lot from this. We're going to round up this particular episode right now. And I really believe you learned. For me, I've learned a lot, and every guy on set, I believe we've learned. We had a lot of questions, and she's represented you very well. I'm talking about women right now. She's poured a lot of light into areas that we needed to. You need to see backstage, back camera, what was happening when she was giving us a piece of her wisdom. We're all excited to hear a little bit of what the women see and how they see. I have learned by experience that women hear with everything. They hear with their eyes, they hear with their ears and every other thing. By that, I mean, you wake up in the morning and you just walk past. And your normal routine is to wake up and give your wife a peck on the cheek. You woke up and you just walk past. You have said something. You did not say it with your mouth, but you have said something. So now she's saying, did I offend you last night? And you said no. Did I do anything? No. And you are wondering, what is it about? Meanwhile, you got up because you had work on your mind and you just walked past. To her, you just said that she offended you and she's wondering, what did I do? Then she comes to you. So they don't just hear with their ears. They hear with everything. They hear with your body language. They hear with what you said and what you did not say, right? Because of the way you put yourself. Now, they are interpreting what you not say. Something an older lady said to me is, don't give room to a woman for assumption. Don't ever create room for assumption. Always clear the air. Always. Never leave room for assumption. Because the moment you leave a crack, they fill it up with scenarios that are not in your favor. Yeah. Default setting. They fill it up. all the scenarios that we paint, none is in your favor. So don't leave room for crack. So I'll leave with that. I hope you got a lot from it. I know the time is short, but we're trying to squeeze in as much as we possibly can. And we pray that these words that we brought to you was able to take you to the point you ought to be and bring that kind of peace and unity that you want in your family as a man and as a family as a whole. See you in the next episode. Have a wonderful day from me.